Hello and welcome to this week's Query of the Week. So this week we got a couple of queries in relation to AGMs, in relation to holding the meetings. What happens if we don't have it? So the first element of the question was what happens if let's say you call your AGM and no one turns up. So I suppose, as you all know, Section 175 of the Act deals with requirements for AGMs. It requires one to be held at least once, that it can't be more than 15 months apart, and they have to be in each year. So that's a requirement of the Act. So in this particular case, the client had, given your required 21 clear days notice, so your 24 days notice before of the AGM. So the day came for the AGM and nobody turned up. So what does legislation say? Or only a certain amount of people turn up. So effectively, company law says that in order to hold a general meeting, there must be a quorum of 2 under Section 182, unless the Constitution says otherwise. So you need to look to the Constitution. Obviously, for an LTD, a single member, that's not applicable. But other than that, it is. So in this case, there wasn't a quorum, didn't turn up. So what was to be done was the question. So in that particular case, what Section 182 of the Act says, it effectively says what you do then is you wait your 15 minutes. If the quorum isn't present, whether that be 2 or something else is in the Constitution, well, then you adjourn the meeting. You say, look, at that point in time, we're going to deem the meeting closed. You then reconvene a meeting a week later in the same location, and at that point in time, whoever turns up, you'll wait 30 minutes. Whoever turns up at that point in time, even the quorum isn't present, is deemed to be present. So at that point in time, the meeting can start with whoever is there, and it can go through the normal process that you will go through an AGM. Likewise, another regular question that we get is, look, when are we required to hold an AGM? So Section 341 specifically says there's a requirement to lay the financial statements before the AGM within nine months of the year end. So that's what Section 341 says. So you need to make sure that you do have that done. Also, let's say a lot of times the accounts mightn't be ready December year end. Technically you should lay the accounts by 30 September of the following year. Accounts aren't always done, so even in that particular case, you still have to go through the 21 clear days notice. Let's say, 3rd September, give the notice to the members, convene the meeting, explain, go through what would otherwise be done through approving dividends, reappointment of auditors, but explain that the accounts aren't available for issue, and as a result, you'll have to reconvene the meeting in the future, and then they'll accordingly get their 21 days notice at that point in time in the future. The next element of the question which was asked was, well, look, what if we haven't held an AGM within the 15 months that we are required to have it under Section 175? What's the implications? Section 175 is clear. It says if you don't hold an AGM within the 15 months from the last AGM, well, then you're deemed to have committed a Category 3 offence, which effectively up to 5,000 fine and or 6 months imprisonment. So that's the implications of it. That will always be there, but in order to try and get over it, you would then try and hold an AGM, whether it be after 15 months. At that AGM, explain that this is the AGM for the previous period, and that everyone agrees that this is deemed to be the AGM. From there, then you can go through with your normal AGM process. That said, it doesn't necessarily prevent you from, being liable to a Category 3 offence. If you don't go through the process, let's say even after 15 months, and you don't do anything, well, then you're into a Category 4 offence for not holding a meeting or trying to convene a meeting after 15 months to make it, I suppose, for that 15-month period. So I'm hoping that you found this query useful. We're going to go through on the 14th of August, directors and members meetings, proceedings, register maintenance, all that type of company secretarial work that and that clients should be aware of when they're carrying out their responsibilities in relation to directors and company secretaries. So if you found this interesting, please log on to that webinar on the 14th of August. Thank you.